or when. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon slash evening.
Hop over to the thing. So tonight we have a big hitter. Obviously, it's the SHL final this week. So that's between Tiny Finn Fan Club and Sexy Hombres in Texas. You abbreviate it. And this is the battle for the three seeds. So we've got Arcane THL repping Tiny Finn Fan Club, and Ridiculous Hat for Sexy Hombres in Texas. So, Wombat, do you want to talk about the classes a little bit?
Let's get ready to rumble. Oh wait, that's sorry about that. Great. So, um, those of you who have been following the season will know that this is really a story of two very different paths, two different play styles, and two different approaches. Um, So Hat started out the season with a PR at almost 500, and Arcane started out the season with a PR around 300. The two of them since then have converged, with Hat going either 4-5 or 5-4, and Arcane having a mercurial run of 7-1 to end up in a 350 range PR. So the two of them will be contesting for the 3 slot here. Let's go in and we'll have a look at their class picks and bans. So, what do you have for Hat?
So, Hat has gone with Druid, Priest, Rogue, and Warlock. He's done this consistently for like 5 weeks now, I believe. So he is a creature of habit. This is what he does every week in, week out, and it's works for him about 50% of the time.
Well, I
Whereas,
think. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, well, this week Arcane has actually chosen to mirror him exactly. Also with the Druid, Priest, Rogue, Warlock, even right down to the ban. They have both
And
banned Rogue.
I think a lot of people agree this is the strongest lineup in the game. The match that we had earlier today between the Fly and D Lineman, both of them brought almost identically that lineup, with D Lineman simply just bringing a Paladin instead of Rogue. And it's a very flexible lineup. Because the Rogue and the Warlock have similar play styles, and the Druid and the Priest can be very grindy. It makes it where it's hard to specialize your lineup against one specific thing. Either you ban the Druid and then you have to face the Priest and the Rogue, or you ban the Priest, you face the Druid and the Rogue, or you ban the Rogue and you face Druid and Priest. So it's very hard to pigeonhole this kind of lineup. It's a very strong and very flexible strategy.
Yep, I totally agree. And you just don't really. I mean, the Warlock is always just kind of the fourth class, isn't it? You don't really care about it that much. It's just there. Like, quite a
Well,
strong
I mean,
deck, but just not quite as strong as the other three.
what it does is it mimics the Rogue in its playstyle, so that if you choose to ban Rogue, you still have to face another fast attacking board based deck that can do a lot of damage very quickly, which can be difficult for Druid and Priest. Both of them really ramp up their power level from turn 5 on, but both Rogue and Warlock can bring enough pressure they've almost killed you by turn 5. So it really throws a fork in your approach strategy of how you go after your opponent's decks. Because if you build to beat Druid and Priest, you have to have a lot of anti control and anti late game tools. And that plays exactly into what the Warlock and the Rogue want to do, which is beat your face quickly. So it really is a clever and measured strategy.
Absolutely. And, well, I mean, I can't write off the Warlock too well. If we do go to the Flyers Lie versus D Lineman's match, I believe that D Lineman was 2-0 up and then was reverse swept by the Flyers Lies Warlock. So clearly, that strategy really paid off earlier. Last night, even. Warlock
Yeah,
just
I mean
hits
that
face pretty well.
it has a lot of the same elements, and somebody who's a good deck builder can really make it emulate what the Rogue deck does in a lot of ways. And because you have access to their 1 mana deal 4 damage spell, it really allows early board control that even the rogue doesn't have.
Oh yeah, Soulfire is a hell of a card.
Yep. All right. Are we ready to go?
We are ready to go, I believe. We've got bands in, the players are waiting on our command, so why don't you give them the heads up?
Yep. I am queuing the players in now. Go. So as they're getting ready to start, we'll mention that both of them banned Rogue, which is a strategy I've been advocating for some time. I mean, I think it's Rogue is just too powerful. Whereas
Absolutely.
you can game plan against Druid, you can game plan against Priest. It's just that Rogue deck, you simply just have to draw better than them. You can't particularly hard counter it. There are ways you can tech against the Pirates, there are ways you can tech against the With, but in the general sense, that deck has so many threats and so many ways to beat you that it's best to ban it, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. Rogue is just at such an insane power level, especially if you have the Druid and the Priest, which both can struggle quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so
All right,
we've got
we are
Hat
into
on
game
the
one.
we got Hat on the bottom, and we should have Arcane at the top. Let's
Yep.
hope that the fuck off Innkeeper.
Watch it.
I'm not
This is
really.
a family show.
I want to get rid of you. Go away. Right, there we have the spectator mode. Thank you. We're just gonna have to deal with that. So, we've got
All right, so we're gonna opening up with Malchazar's Imp, setting up for ooh, and he has a Keleseth in his opening hand. This is gonna get ugly fast unless the priest can stem the bleeding.
oh yeah,
Priest passes, and it's on. We've got an opening Keleseth.
yep, that's
And let's
not
see.
what the priest ever likes to see. The
Yeah.
warlock matchup is hard enough as it is, but when you have a turn 2
Yeah.
Kelesith, it gets ugly fast.
Oh boy, and we're about to see a 3/3 patches. So yeah, so in the chat, tell us who's in charge now.
Oh no, he's
Oh,
actually choosing
okay. He's
to.
going to go. Councilman use that for triple buff next turn. Actually,
That's going to be
since
a
he's got.
brutal councilman.
Yep. All right. The priest really doesn't have an early hand to respond here? I mean, he's going to have to eventually drop the pyro and combo it out. Yep. Here we go.
Choosing to do that already.
Here we go. Without the coin. That's interesting. We're going to see coin. All right.
Yeah, clears up some amount of threat.
Well, uh,
Ooh.
oh, he draws patches. It's not as much of a punish, but it takes one tick off the councilman here at this point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. See, I mean, Zoo is kind of the class where drawing patches is the least punish, because you can just draw into an answer. And
Right.
no respect. No respect at all.
Well, let's see what we get here. I mean, because the reason why you do this is to force the priest to have to use 2 mana to heal if he doesn't want to kill his own pyromancer right away. It's an estimation on what the priest could potentially have this turn that for 3 or 4 mana, and at least at this point, it looks like it's reasonable because the priest had to waste 2 mana here.
Yeah.
And let's see what we get on the clear. All right, this isn't so bad, but again, this is just stemming the bleeding.
Yep, but it does allow him to kill off this councilman, which is probably by far the biggest threat. And weakens up things. Will we see a Spirit Lash here? Seems quite weak.
Yeah, I don't. The priest really need. I mean, he has his Shadow Reaper lined up, so at least he can take care of big threats come turn 7 or 8. But here comes the pink and blue Flappy Bird to make his day worse. And with the silence already used, this could really turn into a problem.
Especially as it is now a 4-attack minion.
Right.
We all know the meme about 4-attack minions and priests. They just
Yep.
don't like it.
Which which means the priest. We could go councilman coin spirit lash here, but it's really not that effective. Um, and this is
Is someone injured?
okay. We're gonna see a cleric here. Cleric spirit lash.
Yeah, small amount of healing. Draw a card.
This
That's a card.
see we pull off the first adaptation. Nothing world breaking here. Probably go with the two plants in this situation.
Yep, just sticky things.
Yeah, if Shrouding Mist isn't terribly helpful because the priest wasn't able to deal with it last turn. Yep, and
Wait.
interesting. I'm just gonna put a lot of things on the board here and pound some face.
Do like pounding face.
Now, hey, it gets the job done. 7, 8, 9, 10. So, oh. So the question is really here: do you just Doom Guard right off the bat at this point,
Oh,
or
Matt.
yeah? The problem that this brings up now is this plays right into Shadow Reaper. On 7, we have Coin Shadow Reaper, and I'd be very surprised if he doesn't do that because he's going to lose if he doesn't.
Arcane's been holding on to holding on to the coin this entire game for this
Yeah,
exact reason, and it has paid off hugely.
yeah. This is one reason I don't love Bone Mare in these decks sometimes because it gives you a doubled up target for Shadow Reaper, but it's like we're right back at it with the potential for lethal here.
Yep.
And he's got a handful of combo pieces, but no combos. He's
Yeah.
gonna have to he's gonna have to draw here. He has only 2 spells.
I hope you like my invention.
Uh, oh, here we go. Combo. Wombo combo.
It's not enough.
It's not enough to clear the whole board, but it's enough to clear most of it. He'll be able to bring the Auchenai on, hit something, and then combo.
But with the Doom Guard in hand, that's still just lethal.
Uh, is it? Let's see. Yeah. Well, it's over. That's game 1 in the books.
Yep, so that is a quick win for the Zoo. If that Circle of Healing had just been 1 turn sooner, would have been a full board
Yeah.
clear. That's very unfortunate for
Yeah.
Arcane.
That's that's one of the risks of running Mind Blast is that it absolutely crushes in the late game, but it's a brick in your hand until then, especially against these faster decks. So, like we were talking about, that's one of the risks with facing Zoo is that it can bring that pressure before other decks can stabilize.
Yep, I mean, you run Mind Blast for the 2 other matchups, but it is just a dead card in Zoo. And I really like opening with Zoo for this reason.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you have 2 fairly strong matchups and then a 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, with the last hero standing format, the object is to win the first game. If you win the first game, you set the tempo for the whole match. So bringing that Zoo out, I think it gives him the best chance to take the first game. So it's exactly what this lineups strategy will try to do. So where players are, or at least Arcane is reviewing what he's going to bring in the second game.
No decision
I'm
making for Hat here.
Yeah, well, it would be interesting if we do that. So we're gonna get ready to
Into it.
jump right into game 2 now. Here we go.
And it's
Yeah,
a
and
mirror.
I think the mirror is probably the best choice here, because otherwise he has to put his druid out, and if the druid loses, then if he wins the third game, not having the druid against priest is really a problem. So I think this is the best overall strategy.
Yep.
And we're looking. Oh, and this time Arcane gets the Kel'Seth.
Yep. So I, just going off the opening hands alone, I definitely fancy Arcane for this one.
Yeah, look,
they've each drawn one legendary.
yeah, Hat has a hand. Hat has a hand like a foot.
His least dominant
Pa-
foot at that.
Patches, Crystal Weaver, Doomguard. Oh well,
He's at least seen a card,
it's
Zeph.
it's a Prince duel,
Ooh.
and I'm guessing we're going to see the buff on the 1/3. Yep, and that's this card can really be a brick at times, the Blood Fury, but like when it hits in a situation like that, it's going to be hard to get through.
Yep. But it can hit pretty
And I'm
hard.
just saying. So I'm guessing what we're setting up is to see something like Malkazar Zimp, Keliseth, Soulfire next turn. Ooh,
That's a big Void Walker.
yeah, tell you about. So I'm guessing we're gonna see this Prince, Malkazar Zimp, Soulfire
Even
going in this turns. Yeah,
might even see a Soulfire Patches after the Keliseth, just because that 5 health is really problematic right now.
he's really got to get that out. Interesting. Okay.
Yep, and there goes the
Well.
Malkazar Zimp.
I guess at this point in the game, it's better to lose the 1-drop. Because at least he does have access to Doomguard next turn in case this board starts spiraling. Let's see what we got here. We got Malkazar Zamp, Void Walker, Soulfire here?
Quite possibly. Does not value the chain gang as he's the aggressor in this match. I like it.
Well, I guess it's because the chain gang didn't get hit with the Prince buff. So this is
Who needs it?
it worked out for him. All right, what do we get coming back here? Boy, this is a tight situation.
This is a really bad hand.
Yeah,
There goes
those.
the bone mat.
Yeah, the Chris. I don't. This is a situation where the Crystal Weavers can really be a brick in your hand because if you view the Warlock as a tribal synergy thing, the Crystal Weaver can do a lot of good things. If you view it purely based on per turn board impact, the Crystal Weaver can really be a brick in situations like this. So it looks like he's going to get some value from it here.
But value's not what he's after
But-
right now.
Is it enough? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough here. I think, yeah, this one's looking like it's pretty much in the books.
Yep.
So I think we're gonna be up at 1-1. Yep, and Hat knows it too.
Yep.
All
That
right.
is-
Well, a very swift first 2 games here.
Yep, these are going at lightning speed. So
Yep, and that.
now it's on Hat to figure out what to beat this Warlock with. Does he fancy Priest more or Druid more?
So, folks in chat, let's see some voting on who you think's going to take Game 3. For people who think Hat's going to take Game 3, let's see Bible Thump. For folks that think Arcane's going to take Game 3, let's see Destructoid. Hit him up in that chat. All right, here we go.
Druid.
Hat counters Druid, which is probably the better counter here because of the anti-aggro tools.
Because of that card we can see in the middle of his hand
Yeah.
right now. which he's
Interesting.
Not choosing to keep, which I understand because it's not ramp.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about whether you keep Spreading Plague in situations like this. And I can see both arguments, but I think really the Druid needs to ramp into its strength here.
Yep. It's you just really hope that you draw into that Spreading Plague as soon as possible. After you've drawn your Wild Growth and your Jade Blossom.
And strong start for Arcane. Void Walker into Flame Imp really is going to give the Druid fits, but I'm going to counter that Wrath out. However, even though the Druid counters there, it's still an advantage to the Warlock because it forces the Druid not to ramp or draw cards.
Yep. Oh,
So, oh boy,
tempo
That-
mind control attack.
it's a hard choice to have to make there. You need the board and you need tempo. However, mind control tech can really be a really swingy card later. Now, these players don't know each other's decks, so he However, we got to see enough of Arcane's Warlock in game one where we know it is a wide variety. It's the kind that will go wide with Crystal Weavers and those little O1 imps,
Blood Imps. I'm a
Blood
big,
Imps.
I'm a big fan of the Blood Imp Zoo. This is a really big one drop. And our hat's just drawing dead. Oh, he's finally drawn into some ramp.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, and this is a tough choice here. I think he has to do the ramp here because he's got to get that ultimate infestation quick.
I think as a druid, you've always just got to ramp as fast as possible. Like
Yeah, with this, go ahead.
if you don't ramp at the start, when you're going to ramp, it's just useless, and then you have less mana to play with, and
Yeah,
you die.
especially a card like Jade Blossom that really is not that helpful against Warlock in the later game. He's going to have to get that out now, and
Yep.
oh well, we're going to get that plus a buff, and it's going to slow the Warlock down majorly.
Yep. I really like that play by Arcane just now, trading off the 2-1, because obviously it's weak to Spreading Plague, and you see the ramp from a druid, you'd think Spreading Plague is coming out very soon.
Yeah. So, though, I'm guessing we're gonna see a Spellbreaker this turn to try to set up his board for Bone Mare next turn.
Yeah.
It's not a terribly great situation he's in. Oh, we're gonna.
Assessing his
Uh,
options.
I guess after seeing the first Spreading Plague, he's gonna go wide.
Especially after seeing it come off the top.
Yeah. And oof, boy, we'll get
Hat
some.
might just be coming back into this. He's got the ultimate
Yeah,
infestation next turn,
Yep.
and that might be enough.
Let's see. So the Bone Marrow set the captain up for trading, but that's going to get hit right off with the ultimate infestation.
Yep.
So it does look like the druid stabilized.
Which is insane.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get a full clear here.
And
Yeah. Here comes Kun,
Kun,
Fandral,
Medivh.
Medivh. Oh boy. And Nourish. Yeah, this is
spicy.
this is not looking good for the Warlock. And no targets for the Bone Mare here either. And he hasn't played a lot of demons out, so going Blood Reaver on turn 10 isn't that scary right now.
And there
And
goes
it doesn't
the
hit
Bone
but it doesn't hit the Blood Reaver.
Yep.
So we're gonna see a Kun Medivh set up here, or a Kun Jade Behemoth.
I think here you've got to go for the Behemoth. That Fledgling combined with that Doomguard are very scary. And this just contested both of them.
Yeah.
Two tempo Jade
So,
Idols and a Hero Power.
Recognizing that this isn't going to the late game, so shuffling them just has no value at this point.
None whatsoever. Like,
And
do you want
that's
1 mana 5/5 later or now? I think you want it
Yeah,
now.
and honestly, and shuffling them probably wouldn't be good anyway because it's another card that gets in the way of drawing the second ultimate infestation.
And just like that, I think Arcane's dead.
Yep.
Is there any way of dealing with enough of this board to prevent lethal?
Looking here, let's see if he goes Spellbreaker on the 3/6, trades into the 5/5, then puts the
3/3
Fledgling
into
onto the
four. Plays
one
the Dreadlord.
plus. Right, I think that gets him 3 points clear, 2 points clear. Well, he's going for a taunt here.
Nope. Just
And the trade, no, he's dead.
yep. That is game. Behold
Yeah, it's
the sheer power of Spreading Plague.
Yep.
That is a pretty good card.
It was interesting. Like Blizzard at the time of the nerf discussed that they thought about moving it to 7 mana. And I even thought that that was generous. I thought leaving it at 6 was still left its power level very high.
Yeah, I thought it should be a 7 mana card. When I first saw it, I
Yeah.
thought it should be a 7 mana card.
Yeah. I mean, it would be one thing if they were 1/4s, but 1/5, like 5 mana is hard to remove. Removing 4 or 5 of them, that can take sometimes 3 turns. And Druid can get a lot done in that amount of time.
Yep. And now a good
Oh.
old Jade Druid Mirror.
Now, do you keep the ultimate infestations here? I think so. Yep. Yeah, and Hat thinks so too. So, for those of you joining us, we are going into Game 4 with Hat being up 2-1, and we're seeing a Jade Druid Mirror. This is interesting. Not everybody runs Spellbreaker in their Druid, but Arcane has chosen to bring it. What's your thought on why he brings that in his Druid?
Quite honestly, I'm not with the class you're coming up against. I'm not really sure. I think it's probably just to help against the zoo match because it doesn't really have any kind of utility against priest or druid, except maybe just to kind of silence Fandral if you're in a really tough spot. Running Bone Mare is also quite unconventional. I think that's a big card to help in the mirror. Because Jade Druid struggles with Bone Mares. Right, so we're both going big on the ramp here. Arcane is up to 8 mana. While next turn, I think Hat is also going up to 8 mana. They're both hitting just so much ramp here.
Boy, that's nuts.
Yeah. So wait, what turn is this? Is this turn 4? They're both on 9 mana.
I lost track. It's ridiculous. This is really one of the challenges with contemporary Druid is that there are just so many ramp options that the deck has. Where you have by turn 4, you're already at 9 mana and playing Nourish plus Mire Keeper. That's nuts.
You're playing Nourish plus Mire Keeper both in their non-ramp options.
Yeah, seriously.
But there is a UI coming up for Hat, and there is not one in hand for Arcane.
Yeah.
And that can be a big deciding factor in this match. Although drawing the Death Knight is also quite big. And I wouldn't be surprised if Arcane would just slam that down now.
Do you play that or do you play the Bone Mare?
They both have their huge advantages. I guess the Bone Mare is just the kind of immediate threat, and then you can just play the Death Knight next turn. That's always going to be good.
Well, there's 2 parts of it. First, you have to think about that your opponent could have Ultimate Infestation. With 4 cards in hand and being on 10 mana, you have to consider for that.
Yep. And if
The
you
second
Bone Mare
part-
and trade, that it's at 5 health. And that's the magic number. Yep. This is going to be punished heavily.
Yep. So, I think we're going to have UI on 6/5 here.
A nice golden UI at that.
Yeah. Here we go.
Ooh. And here come the Jades.
What's a murderer's row? And with Fandral.
Jade,
So-
Jade, Jade, Jade. And Arcane hasn't really
Think
drawn
we're
into
gonna-
any of his Jades. Neither of them have. They've both just
Yeah, we're
ramped
gonna-
like crazy.
We're going to have to see Death Knight here, I think.
I believe so.
It's a tough situation because now he needs to start getting his Jades out, but he's running the risk of getting overrun here is the problem.
Yep. And now Hat, once again, is just completely inundated with options. What would you go for
Yeah,
here?
nice problem to have.
God.
Ooh. Wow, that's snap choice. Yeah.
That's tough. That's really
Oh
tough.
boy. This is when this matchup starts to just feel unfair. When you can ramp into dropping three jades and putting out three jades in a turn.
And a 7-7. Let's not forget the
Yeah.
7-7.
Yep. Kun, who a lot of people thought was going to be dead after the last rotation.
They always find a way to fit in the
Yeah.
weirdest cards. So, this is looking really bad for Arcane.
Yeah. Did you ever get hit with Kun Aviana?
Oh, many times. I loved playing that deck. It was one of the most fun things. I might go and play that in Wild after this.
That's a fun deck. I remember one time I was playing D Lineman, and he ramped that out on like turn 8, 3 games in a row.
Oof.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. That one's particularly crushing when you ramp it out because of it's a permanent buff at that point.
Yeah. And
All right. So getting back to this match, Arcane has definitely stabilized some with these, but it's simply just a delay. He doesn't really have a lot of meat on the board here.
yeah. So the thing to note about he does have two Jade cards in his hand, but one of them is the Jade Idol, and he's already played his first one. So for this match, you really want to be shuffling that.
Yeah.
Like so.
But having Wrath in hand, I think Fandral makes good sense here.
Yep. Just start clearing things off. Can get out two Jades if he so desires. Stealing a taunt
Boy. Ooh.
and killing a bone there.
Talk about an embarrassment of riches.
Yep. This board, like, Arcane we thought had stabilized a little bit, but Hat was just like, nope, I'm just gonna kill it all. Leaving Arcane with just a 4-3. And
Yeah.
not much in hand to go on. Yep.
Yeah. That's Arcane recognizing that this one's not looking good.
Yep. So,
So-
as always, the Jade Druid just came down to who had the UI in hand and nothing else.
Yeah. And that was a quick
That was
that was a quick one.
Yeah, that game took less than half an hour. So our hat, Ridiculous Hat, is our winner at
Takes it 3-1. That was a really fast matchup. I mean, all of the games really flowed to a point where one of the two players was hitting their power sequence very rapidly and efficiently.
Yep. Like I think the Warlock Druid match was like I think the key turning point there. Ridiculous Hat being able to top deck that Spreading Plague into the Mark of the Lotus was just enough to stabilize and just keep him alive.
And he really needed it there too, because the Warlock had started their push for lethal, but Spreading Plague.
It's a pretty good card. Please nerf Blizzard again.
Yep. Well, so that puts Sexy Hombres up 3-0 in the final series. Do we have another 3 points? Oh, I'm sorry, it's 4 points to no points.
Well, no, because Arcane
Four,
did
4 points to 2 points.
4 points to 1 point there, and it was
Bad math.
Bad
Bad
math.
math. Bad math.
One of those reds is the ban. I apologize if that is confusing. So that is 4-1. Although Tiny Finn Fan Club from the previous match were up 4-2, so it is now 5. No, it is now 6-5 to Sexy Hombres, with 3 matches remaining of the series.
Do we have any of
Maths.
the other threes scheduled on stream right now?
Not currently, I believe. I need to double check that, but obviously once we know anything about that, we'll keep people posted. I think we don't know the exact match schedule that people have decided upon. So,
Cool.
but we will try and get as many of the matches streamed. Obviously, it's the final.
Well, stay tuned to our Discord and Facebook for the update on the final 3 matches in SHL and THL semifinals. For
Playoffs.
now, we will.
No, it's quarterfinals. Playoffs.
It's quarters right now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Still best of 8. Team best last 8. Right.